alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome again to another Deen Love episode. Today we are here with Shaykhuna, Shaykh Hassan Jami'i. He is well known here, ma'ruf, around these parts, St. Paul, and he's Imam of the community, and he's also Imam of the youth. The youth love him, we all love him, and inshallah today he's going to be shedding some light on what it means, the term nationalism, qawmiyya, and what are its limits, its boundaries, how far can one go, right? What is the hukm of it, right? So Shaykh, jazakumullah khair for joining us today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Usman. Jazakallahu khairan. This beautiful session that you're leading tonight. And inshallah, we'll try with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shed some lights about, first of all, what's nationalism, in general.
Absolutely.
It is, nationalism is like loving your country. So someone loves, like, for example, my background is Somalia. I love Somalia. And if I say, like, I love Somalia in general, it's okay in Islam. So and we'll talk about that, why it's okay and where I'm coming from. And I love, for example, I'm from Mogadishu. If I say, like, I love city of Mogadishu, I'm Mogadishawi, for example. So that's no problem. And in Islam, where we can get that from the Prophet ﷺ. When the Prophet ﷺ, as you know, like history of Islam, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, all his life is example. That's why in Islamic law we have two major sources of or foundations that we must follow, of laws that, and one of them is from the Quran, Kalamullah subhanahu wa ta'ala, words of Allah, and the second one is the lifestyle of Prophet ﷺ. So when the Quraysh kicked him out of city of Mecca, the Prophet ﷺ, when he left Mecca, outside of Mecca, he stood up close to the mountain and talked to Mecca. So this is very important.
Right.
Yes, and he said, like, Ya Mecca means like, you Mecca, if your people did not kick me out, I wouldn't have left you, never. And this is the foundation of people, like they say, like nationalism is okay because he loved Mecca, where he was born, where he came from, and everybody loves where he came from and where he was born. The problem is when you go beyond, and how, what's the example also from the Sunnah? When the Prophet came to Medina, he became a member of the Medina society.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two, Medina, he had like two groups. The group is the group who came with the Prophet, or before him, al-Muhajirun, immigrants from Mecca to Medina, and their name, or they were called like al-Muhajirun, right? And group that accepted them and supported them, al-Ansar. So those two, you can call like two new names, because those Arab came from Quraysh before, they did not have that al-Muhajirun.
Right.
And then you have like this Medina, their names were like Khazraj, Aus, and different tribes. So he removed them from the tribal level or status to the new level of status, which is who they are, what they did. Al-Ansar, yeah, or the supporters of Allah, or Deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a great name, right? So that united them. So now the nationalism is wrong when it comes like that I'm better than that nation, when you say that, which means I'm better than that tribe, I'm better than that group. That is that time you're going to beyond the limit of nationalism, because we have a hadith that the Prophet says nobody is better than other person, right? The hadith that says whites are not superior on blacks, and blacks are not superior over whites, illa bi taqwallah.
How about so we have history, just recent history, that we can actually look at and examine whether it was nationalism or not, based off of that definition. We have, for example, events like the 6-day war that the Arabs had waged on the state of Israel. For example, let's say, because they were saying, they were fighting, let's say, get together, they were trying to get all of the Arab countries, neighboring countries together, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and they were all trying to come together, and they were saying, let's do this because we are the Arab people, and we should be liberating Quds or Palestine because on the basis of being Arab.
Yes, see, that's why it's very important to understand. So nationalism, if it's intended love and benefiting to one specific area or city or country, it's okay, because you love the love of the place, the love of the nation, the love of the people is in general is okay. And benefiting, so not only the love, you benefit. Like for example, now when we say like we are Americans, for example, who live here and we love America, that's fine. We benefit to America, that's fine. The benefit, that whatever is good for this society will do it, that's fine. The problem is when I say that, I'm going back to this example, when I say like America is better than Europeans, America is better than, so and then not only that, and better is not in terms of the competition. By the way, competition is okay in Islam also.
Okay.
If it's a good competition.
Yes.
If the competition is yes, and then another ayah في ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون. So Allah talked about the beauty of Jannah, and it is huge blessing and bounties that everybody should compete for, right? And then Allah says that one is the one that you compete for. When we do good in this life, we do good to get there.
Okay.
So that competition is also good, like nation competing against another nation. For the khair, for the good, for the benefit of the humanity.
Right.
That's good. So the problem is if you're killing others because they do not belong to your tribe, because they do not belong to your city, because they do not belong to your nation, because they do not belong to your group or your jama'ah. One is and that's ta'assub. One is it goes to the ta'assub, means like ta'assub, and sometimes ta'assub means like supporting something with blind.
Yeah, so like extreme partisanship.
Yes, extreme. Yes, partisan. And you don't care about the lives of others.
Right.
You don't respect them, and that is haram. So beauty of Islam is the act goes against someone or harms individual or group or tribe or city or any, that act becomes haram. Like the Arab example that you took, they were trying to liberate Qudus based on the Arab nationalism. You see that?
Yeah.
And then now that's not, it wasn't based on the faith, right? Because when you do act based on the faith, that act is act of jihad, okay? And that jihad has to be legitimate.
Yes.
Legitimate is like it has to be cause for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay.
So, but they were doing for Arab nationalism, that's why they lost eventually, and that's why not only they lost, and eventually what happened was like divisions among themselves.
Humiliation.
So, yes, and humiliation and all this.
How about when the Pledge of Allegiance, okay, for example, we'll take the Pledge of Allegiance. What is the hukum of pledging allegiance to your country and in terms of obedience to it? Because we have children. I remember in school we used to grow up, and when we were in school they used to have a moment for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes.
Put your hands on the flag. And the conditions of the Pledge of Allegiance.
It depends what you pledge.
Okay.
If it is khair, which means it's good, if it's good for the humanity, if it's like I support my country wholeheartedly to do whatever it takes to improve, even if that's the cost of my life,
right,
that's okay. But if you're doing to hurt others, if you're doing to commit injustice, and that pledge of allegiance becomes batil, invalid, that's the meaning of batil, and it's haram, means like prohibited. So I say this is like everything that we do in Islam, we don't jump and say haram, it's prohibited, but we look at what it does to the humanity. Does it benefit or does it harm? Once it benefits, it's allowed. Once it does harm, it's prohibited.
So then, what if people now? How about this? Having pride of your skin color and saying, you know, like black power, or this is something that's common that's being, circulated amongst the youth.
In Islam, make it clear, it's prohibited.
Okay.
Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, first of all, says like, Ya ayyuhan nas inna khalaqnakum min dhikrin wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila lita'arafu. Allah says, we made you from Adam and Hawa, from one single father and one single mother. After that, you might have different colors, but you are all coming from same root. That means you're all equal.
You're all the same.
And then, and there is hadith according to this ayah that the Prophet says, you are like the comb, like you're equal like the comb. You're all equal.
Yeah.
So no differences based on nationality, race, and all this.
Okay.
That's another good thing. And then at the end it says, إلا بتقوى الله, right?
Yes.
إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم, which means like the person that Allah will honor is the one who is very close to Him.
Yes.
So here, if you say like I'm honored because of my color, Allah says like no, that's wrong. The only way that you can be honored is if you are very close to me.
So then,
so it doesn't matter what color you are.
Yes. Where you're from.
And then one beautiful example that I will conclude is one of the great tabi'i that was a scholar, Ata ibn Rabah. He was a black scholar.
Yes.
Surrounded by thousands of people listening to him, and the king, one of the Arab king came, and with his sons, and white Arab king with his two sons had dispute among one of the fiqh issues about the Islam issues. They could not agree, and they said, let's go to the Mufti of the Mecca. So he came, and they were asking who was the Mufti of Mecca, and it was pointed out to the black sheikh.
Wow.
And this Arab king, and he had like the you can say like the largest territory to control and rule.
Wow.
And then he said that to himself, you go and stand up in front of that black. And then do you know what he said? He said like his servants like go and tell that the king, Master Fulan, wants to come and ask you the question, so can he come to you? And then when the message came to the sheikh, the scholar, the black scholar, he said that there are many people before him. Ask him to sit down where the seat ends, which was like the last.
You gotta wait.
Yes.
To the king.
Yes, the king. When he got the message, he became very angry. Do you know what he said? His two sons. He said, "Look, because of his knowledge, he is above me, even though that I rule." So it's not a matter of the color. It's a matter of what type of status of knowledge and closeness to Allah, taqwa that you have.
So Jazakumullah khair. I hope this this clarifies a lot of things. And so now we have dealt with the issue of nationalism, and there are limits to everything. There are boundaries. وَتِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ. These are boundaries, and we should not go and transgress among those boundaries. So that's what we have for you today. Jazakumullah khair, everyone. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallam.